Another week has passed since the last local I went to. I played a lot of Secret Box Gardevoir on the Pokemon TCG Live, and honestly, it didn't feel like very. I feel like it's definitely a lot higher skill than just using the blender. And I don't think I'm big brain enough to use the Secret Box, even though I see a lot of other YouTubers recommend using Secret Box. So I went to the same local I went to over the past few weeks, and I did not include Secret Box in my deck. I switched back to Blender because I don't know, Blender just feels so comfortable. I updated my deck a bit. Here is the deck list. Basically, I added some more. I have three copies of Professor's Research, Iono, and the Explorer's Guidance. So I still only have nine card draw supporters, but for some reason this balance felt pretty good. I also I ended up not adding the fourth Ralts to my deck because for some reason I stopped playing against a lot of like decks that have a lot of bench snipe. So the fourth Ralts ended up just kind of being useless. And then another thing I did was I added a third Monkey Dory into my deck. And the reason I did this is because I realized I was mulliganing a lot because I didn't have enough basic Pokemon. And then the Monkey Dories, I feel like just having three of them feels a lot better than just two because there's a lot of times where you're not really just hitting with your little basic guys. You got to hit with Gardevoir, and if you can get two Monkey Dories set up on bench, it feels very nice. It feels so much better. So I feel like I've been having a lot of success adding three monkeys and three dark energies. So in terms of how well I did for this local, I went 2-2, which is honestly it's better than last time. But realistically, it wasn't that much better than last time because I had a bye this time, and so really realistically, I went 1-2. But let me just break down the actual games, right? So my first game, I went against a Slowking Kyurem. Again, the same replay of the last local I went to. This time I was like, okay, I got the game plan. I'm gonna get out as many Ralts on bench, and I'm just gonna play around the Kyurem. And this went pretty well. I started off pretty good. I got to blend. I got to get my Gardevoir out early. I was actually doing really well. My opponent was actually bricking a few of the early hands, and then what happened was I made like a stupid misplay in the mid game where I placed a monkey right before he was about to cure him. So I basically lost the free prize there, and also lost the monkey dory. And then oh my goodness, at the end of the game, I misread how many prize cards my opponent had. I think they had three prize cards left. For some reason, I thought they were on like one or two, and because of that, I missed lethal. I missed a setup where I could have just, if I put three damage counters onto the my opponent's Fez instead of another Pokemon, the turn after I would have just been able to boss's orders and then kill the Fez for game. And there's one person spectating me who was like, "Oh my god, I was watching you and I saw you miss that," and I was like, it just felt really bad. So in the end, I lost that game. I definitely panicked near the end after I realized I missed the game winning play, and then oh man, that's not good. Let's just say it's not good. It turns out the person I lost to actually went 4-0 in that tournament. So if I actually won the first game by not missing that game winning play, I probably would have knocked them down to like the top four. And funny enough, my scores were actually pretty good in the sense that like my opponent's win rates were really high. So I actually might have been able to tie with them in the final leaderboard if I did not lose that game. So that game, honestly, so sad. I saw the misplay like the turn after I ended my turn, and I could not sleep at night. It was 100% on me though, so I'm not gonna blame anything else. That was a skill issue. And then the second game, yeah, that was a bye. Third game, I went against a Raging Bolt, and that game was a pretty convincing win for me. I didn't even need my Lily's Clefairy in that matchup. I just had a bunch of Drifloon, Night Stretchers with Bravery Charm, and I was able to set up early, and I just whack, 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 and that was game. So at that point, I was 2-1. I went against my last opponent, who was actually the spectator that was watching me miss the game-winning play in the game one. And then, so this game, my opponent was playing a Future Box deck, and they had the the what is it called? The Iron Hands early. So I was like, oh, okay, I gotta take out the Iron Hands before it starts taking extra prizes. So I managed to do really well early. I had a really good start. I set up fast. I took out the Iron Hands, and then yeah, I was honestly like feeling like, okay, I have this in the bag. I just have to not make any mistakes. And then my opponent played this one tech card on their bench. It was like the Iron Thorns, I think, the Tyranitar future variant that prevents any thing from using their abilities. And I swear I read that card like 3 times. I was like, hey, can I read that again? Can I read that again? And for some reason, even after reading it multiple times, I did not. It did not register to me that all active abilities would not be able to be used. And it was even funnier because like somewhere in the mid game, my opponent was like, "Oh, I accidentally like I knocked out their Iron Hands with all their energy." And like a few turns after, they realized they forgot to use that item to switch the energy to their other Pokemon. And I was like, it can't make that big of a difference, right? So I let my opponent correct the mistake a few turns later, and I actually lost because of that. Because what happened was they attached all the energy to the Iron Thorns Tyranitar thing, and then because I didn't understand that it was all active abilities could not be used. I thought it was just the active Pokemon. So I was like, okay, I'll set up another Gardevoir on bench in case the Gardevoir in the active could not be used. But it was too late because by the time like the my opponent shuffled that or moved that to the active, I could not use my Psychic Embrace. So I could not attach energies to finish the last Pokemon off. And because of that mistake, I actually lost top four in that game. So honestly, 2 mistakes. One mistake was letting my opponent correct their mistake, and the second mistake was not reading the Iron Thorns card ability properly. I feel like I should not have been a good sport, because in the end, so I lost, and if I had won that game, I actually would have gotten placed top four, and I would have won, I think, like 7 packs of Journey together. So it's like, you know, that's a pretty big blunder there because first of all I missed lethal first game, and then the last game I was a good sport and also didn't read. So that's 7 packs of Journey together. Down the drain, down the drain. It's okay. I probably wouldn't have pulled anything good in those packs anyway. I did see what my opponent, like the player I was playing against, pulled. They pulled a few illustration rares, so it's possible I could have pulled those too. But let's not kid ourselves here. But on the bright side, they did give us like 2 Journey Together packs, and so I like, even though I didn't win the 7 Journey Together packs for top four pricing, like we still all got like 2 Journey Together packs for entry. And I actually pulled. So what I pulled was I pulled a Iono's Belly Bolt. It's not a Lily's Clefairy, but it's something, I guess. But I actually got the illustration rare Articuno, which this is technically I guess my chase card of the set because I love Articuno. So, and it's worth about $30, which is it's about the same value as 7 Journey Together packs, I guess, maybe. I'm pretty sure 7 Journey Together packs sells for like $50 on market price. But this is my compensation, my participation award. It's it's a pretty good one. Honestly, based on the trend, every time I fail to make top four, the 2 participation packs I get an illustration rare. So that's something, huh? This card's definitely gonna go in my little binder there. Yeah, I do have a lot of the Japanese versions of these, but it's nice having an English version as well. And then other than that, I didn't really sift around for bulk this time I was there. I grabbed another Squawkabilly because I've been seeing a lot of decks run Squawkabilly, so it's like, might as well, 50 cents. And then I grabbed a Blissey. I think I need a few more Blisseys if I actually want to make a Blissey deck. But I got my last 2 Mamoswines, so I guess I can make a Mamoswine deck eventually. I think I still need Blaziken, though, so I'm still on the search for those. I grabbed another Cornerstone because it's a great tech card for decks that aren't Gardevoir, I guess, especially against those wall matchups. But yeah, no, that was the update for this week. Lessons that I learned: don't be too sportsmanlike, especially when booster packs are on the line. And then another thing, definitely read every single card. Like, make sure to truly understand what the opponent's cards are, because If you don't, then you lose big time. That's all I gotta say. That's a huge lesson. Sometimes you miss lethal. Honestly, nothing can be controlled about that. I think that should go away with practice. So yeah. Hopefully. Yep. So I honestly at this point I'm just gonna keep playing around with the Brilliant Blender build. Honestly, I just really like it. And that's it for this update. Thanks for watching.